At school, I was a very scared boy. I came out to my parents when I was 15. You know, you could spit in my mouth and I would say thank you for not beating me up. Okay, so that's the kind of scared boy I was. Yeah, so I moved to Scotland, into the Highlands, and that's kind of one of the new beginnings. I was never interested in politics and history while I was at school, and there are times when I regret that, but on the other hand, I met a lot of people from South Africa in Scotland that were work and traveling, and they would relate a lot of, you know, the apartheid history stories and their personal involvements about it to me. And that's the moment when I got really interested in politics and history, how it affects you, and so on. And I would like to tell you about one person I met there from Namibia. His name is Dion, and we became very close friends. It was really two types of upbringing clashing. Mine was turn the other cheek. His was, if someone puts a finger in your eye, you push two in, okay? So I could learn a lot about standing up for yourself, which I would not do. If someone threatened me, as I said, I would turn the other cheek. He wouldn't do that. He would tell me, don't do that. Okay, so the Highlands are different people than my relatives. My relatives from England are very, you know, Queen's English, middle class, always take care that you look good, and my aunt's favorite word is common. Basically meaning a common person in German would be allgemein, but it can also mean you're like the lowest social position. So, you know, my aunt would come to me and say, oh, I saw this really beautiful baby today, but the mother, she came from this really trashy supermarket, she was really common, you know. That's what she would say. Yeah, so Highlands being a little rough, we had great colleagues. My boss was really cool, you know, she would run around the restaurant saying, oh, I got really sweaty tits today. It took me a while to understand the Scottish accent. My very first working day, my colleague went, so how are yous? And I said, excuse me? How are yous? I said, can you repeat that? How are yous? And I would still not understand, but it worked out after a while. So, coming back to Dion. He was the gayest guy I ever met. He's even gayer than I am, and that's a challenge. And he was an artist through and through. The thing is, you could give him a piece of cloth, he would make the most beautiful dress out of it. You'd give him a piece of wire and he would make a wonderful sculpture. He could paint, he could draw. Whatever there was, he was just brilliant with his ideas, really artistic. Yeah, so the thing was, when I started working in the hotel, it was a 5-day tour. The guests were 99% people who were already retired, so they were already in their 70s, 80s, and so on. So the 5-day tour started with us dressing up as Santa Clauses on the first night of dinner. And then the next day we would celebrate Hogmanay, which is kind of Sylvester in Scotland, but it's way bigger and more important in Scotland than, for instance, in England or Germany. Yeah, and our boss, our general manager, asked us to dress up. And most guys refused. They would go as cowboys, of course. And Dion and I would raid the closet and just take out all this stuff that we could find, and Dion would make really beautiful dresses, and we would borrow makeup from our female colleagues. Yeah, and we got a lot of complaints from the elderly people, but our general manager, she loved it, and so we kept on doing that. So why am I telling you this? We had a couple of colleagues who would be kind of really outwardly anti-gay, and so this is where our upbringing comes in. You know, I'm the guy turning the cheek, you know, shut your mouth, just say thank you for not being beaten up. Yeah, so more and more you had, during work, the guys coming up to us and saying, oh, here we go again, the faggots, you know, faggot this, fucking faggot this, and I wouldn't say anything, and Dion, on the other hand, he would make a lot of fun about that. So for instance, imagine Dion, this really tall guy in a beautiful dress and everything, and one of those guys was quite young, he was 15, and he was about to say something again, you know, fucking faggot blah, and Dion would look at him, all makeup, beautiful lipstick, and going, oh, I love we Scottish boys. Their skin is so soft, you know? And I pissed myself laughing. So the thing is, the new beginning for me was, okay, there are different ways to react, okay? You can push 2 fingers in somebody's eye, okay? So that's what we started doing. We would kind of, you know, say sentences like that, kind of make us appear like we were trying to flirt with the boys, and of course, they got angrier. So they started threatening us, you know, this typical thing, okay, if you leave the building, I'll be waiting with my friends and brothers, blah, blah. So I never liked being an arsehole, but I took the opportunity, went to the general manager, and I told her about it, that we've been threatened. And it wasn't part of the problem, but I added that I also heard the guys calling her a cunt, okay? So it kind of adds to the overall effect. Yeah, so she literally screamed at these boys, saying, okay, either you change your behavior or you leave. And they decided to leave, thank God. So that was a new beginning for me, because very often I like to think of Dion from Namibia and the way he dealt with situations like that, and we've remained friends, and that's my story. Thank you.